Nevada's railroad history is a fascinating tale of ambition, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of progress across some of America's most challenging terrain. The story begins in the mid-19th century when the discovery of the Comstock Lode in 1859 transformed Nevada from a sparsely populated territory into a booming frontier destination. This silver bonanza created an urgent need for efficient transportation to move ore, supplies, and people across the vast desert landscape. The Central Pacific Railroad made history when it pushed through Nevada as part of the first Transcontinental Railroad project. Construction crews faced extraordinary challenges, including scorching summer heat, brutal winter conditions, and the logistical nightmare of supplying workers in remote desert locations. Chinese laborers performed much of the dangerous work, blasting tunnels through mountains and laying track across seemingly endless stretches of alkali flats. Their contributions were essential to completing this monumental engineering achievement. By 1869, the Golden Spike ceremony at Promontory Summit in Utah marked the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, forever changing Nevada's destiny. Towns sprang up along the rail line almost overnight, transforming the state's economy and settlement patterns. Communities like Reno, Elko, and Winnemucca evolved from simple railroad stops into thriving commercial centers that served as vital links between California and the eastern states. The Virginia and Truckee Railroad became one of Nevada's most legendary short lines, connecting Virginia City's rich Comstock mines to the Transcontinental Railroad at Reno. This railroad was considered one of the wealthiest and most profitable short lines in American history, hauling millions of dollars worth of silver and gold ore down the steep mountain grades. The engineering required to navigate the dramatic elevation changes was remarkable, with the tracks winding through 21 tunnels and crossing numerous trestles. Nevada's railroad network expanded rapidly during the late 19th and early 20th centuries as mining discoveries continued throughout the state. Each new strike prompted railroad companies to extend branch lines into previously inaccessible regions, opening up areas for development and settlement. The Nevada Northern Railway, the Tonopah and Goldfield Railroad, and numerous other lines crisscrossed the state, creating a complex web of steel rails that connected isolated mining camps to the outside world. The railroad boom brought profound social and economic changes to Nevada's communities. Towns with railroad connections prospered, while those bypassed by the rails often withered and died, becoming the ghost towns that dot Nevada's landscape today. The railroads also facilitated the movement of diverse populations into the state, including immigrants from Europe, Asia, and Latin America, who came seeking opportunities in mining, railroad work, and related industries. Railroad operations in Nevada presented unique challenges that required innovative solutions. Water was scarce across much of the state, necessitating the construction of elaborate systems to supply steam locomotives. Railroad companies built water tanks, pumping stations, and even small reservoirs to ensure their trains could traverse the long desert stretches. Maintenance facilities, roundhouses, and repair shops became important employers in railroad towns, creating stable jobs that helped communities survive beyond the boom and bust cycles of mining. The decline of Nevada's railroad network began in the mid-20th century as automobiles, trucks, and highways offered more flexible transportation options. Many branch lines were abandoned as mines closed and freight traffic diminished, leaving behind rusting rails and crumbling infrastructure. The interstate highway system, completed in the 1960s and 1970s, delivered the final blow to many of Nevada's remaining short-line railroads, though main-line operations continued to serve the state's transportation needs. Today, Nevada's railroad heritage is preserved through museums, restored locomotives, and operational heritage railways that allow visitors to experience this important chapter of Western history. The Nevada State Railroad Museum in Carson City houses an impressive collection of historic equipment, including several locomotives and cars from the legendary Virginia and Truckee Railroad. The Nevada Northern Railway Museum in Ely offers excursion rides on authentic historic equipment, providing a living connection to the state's railroad past. Modern freight railroads continue to play a vital role in Nevada's economy, hauling goods across the state on routes that often follow the same corridors established more than a century ago. Union Pacific operates the primary transcontinental route through northern Nevada, while various short lines serve specific industries and communities. These contemporary operations demonstrate that while the golden age of railroading has passed, trains remain an important component of Nevada's transportation infrastructure. The legacy of Nevada's railroads extends far beyond transportation history, shaping the state's cultural identity and physical landscape in lasting ways. Railroad architecture, from grand depot buildings to humble section houses, provides tangible links to this transformative era. The routes themselves, whether still active or long abandoned, tell stories of human determination, technological achievement, and the complex relationship between transportation infrastructure and regional development. As we reflect on Nevada's railroad history, we recognize how these iron highways connected isolated communities, enabled economic development, and helped transform a remote territory into a vital part of the American West. The railroads brought people, goods, and ideas across the desert, creating networks of commerce and communication that laid the foundation for modern Nevada. This rich heritage reminds us that infrastructure investments have profound and lasting impacts on the places and communities they serve, shaping destinies for generations to come. Subscribe to 4th Street Live podcast for more wild stories from the Silver State, outlaws, casinos, and the real history behind the neon. The past is never really dead in Nevada. It's just waiting to be told.